What is up, everybody? It's the Inhuman one here, and today we're going to continue with part 3 of the Happy Meat Farms ARG. But first and foremost, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, or the lack of elephant. Yes, I have trimmed off my beard. It was actually, funny enough, it wasn't a joke, but it was done on April Fool's. My beard was down to here. I mean, you can go back to previous streams. It had like a big, it was very full and whatever else, but I felt like it wasn't as healthy as it could have been because that was, it's a beard that I've had for 5+ years or whatever. So, I hadn't ever grown one to that length before, so I feel like there are a few things that I could have done better to help shape it and help it grow a little bit better. So it was a really tough decision, but I decided, might as well, because at least as long as I still have a full face of hair, I mean, I feel comfortable and fine. I do feel faster, like more aerodynamic. So my agility has probably increased +2, but I definitely feel like strength and power is decreased by like at least -3, so like I can't even like think anymore, and now when I'm thinking I'm just grabbing air, right? But anyways, they trimmed my beard and chopped off like 7 inches of my manhood. No pun intended. But, that's just what happens. So, anyways, I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to be great. I thought it was going to take like a year, but maybe in anywhere from like, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, I'll be back to the woolly mammoth of a beast of a man that I was. So, I still like it like this, though, because I do think it's going to be healthier, and I can maybe train the hair to kind of shape it a little bit better. But in the end, I'm always going to have a full face of hair. I love having my beard. I've always had like before my beard, I always had like a Van Dyke or something, so I'll always have something. But I think I'm always going to stick with the full beard from now on, even if it's like mid-length to full length. So anyways, let's jump into hopefully the HR department for Happy Meat Farms. But first, let's recap, and also let's check on chat, because I don't know if the box is here. Okay, it should be good. Great, wonderful, love it. Alright, so anyways, previously what we had done is we had jumped into the research and development department. So from the employee website, or actually kind of like the actual happymeatfarms.com website, there is an employee portal. From the employee access portal, once we entered that, we were able to then, jump into the research and development department. Let me plug in this code, ZX159G. I don't know if they're case sensitive, so let me try that again. ZX159G. Okay, so that's the employee access portal. From here, we learned a few pieces of information. We were also redirected back to the videos that had been leaked on the YouTube This Is Not a Happy Place, which is where our journey started. In fact, we had watched this video, the orientation video for HR, and the genome experiments 43 and 47 in that order. The genome modification test experiment gave us and directed us to the actual website itself, which there was a nice little video here that gave us clues as to how to access the employee portal. It was right here. Aside from that, then we were able to kind of got stuck for a bit, and it took me like 8 days off stream to figure out the next phase. So what I did is I looked at the dates of when the videos were created or published, and I watched the genome modification test 47 endlessly, probably 100 times. And as I went frame by frame, I finally noticed that there was some interesting way that the certain letters were being, I'd say, revealed, but at first I just said, the timing of his transitions and that blur element aren't really synced up. As I started to kind of realize, oh my gosh, this could be revealing something, I went ahead and rewatched it again and then found out the code. That code was a similar format to the employee access code, and that got us into the research and development department, which I'll go ahead and take you guys to now. From this area here, we were able to then learn about Project Chimera. Oops, that's not the right password. Let's see. Okay, I said it was the wrong password, but it let me in. It is the correct password, though. Anyway, so from here we learned about Project Chimera, which is essentially just a way to give mother's DNA or insert mother's DNA into creatures like livestock and whatever else, in the hopes that it increases the living biomass of the creature. So just essentially making it larger, and larger is better because guess what? That means more meat, and more meat for mother to eat, right? So that's why the experiments and the subjects that had grown and massive in proportion were always being sent to HR, because they were being sent as assets to be delivered to mother for her to eat. So it's kind of weird we did mention this, but the fact that her DNA was being inserted into the subjects was kind of like, in essence, like her cannibalizing herself, because like if you put your DNA into something, a part of you is now in it, right? And then if you're now eating that, you're kind of eating yourself, right? So that was a weird thing, and that made me think that maybe on a larger scale, when we talk about the world building of these creatures, like these mothers or the host colony and all that we learned about in the very first stream that we did, it's interesting because it makes me think that maybe, just maybe, there is some sort of resource type war going on at their home world, and maybe they do eat each other, or maybe they've been forced to now eat each other, or maybe they require nutrients that just aren't found here on Earth, and so that's why she's having to resort to these methods. But in some way, shape, or form, there's definitely a need for them to have come here. I mean, they didn't just come on a vacation, right? So there's a purpose for that, and I wonder what that is. That's something that I would definitely like to explore in maybe future videos and discuss, why they came here. As aside from it just being, hey, this is just part of the story, picks up right the fact that they are here, right? And maybe we're thinking, overanalyzing it, but that's what we do here. We overanalyze fictional pieces of art all the time. Anyway, so from here, there really wasn't much other than we did have some finality to what happened to subject M0101, which was the spider cow owl. He actually ended up dying he got captured in a home decor facility 70 miles from the HR building, so he did die. But subject H0027, which was referred to as the female human host, we pretty much have confirmed that that's Ramona Bynes, the original owner of the actual Happy Meat Farms itself. So this lady right here. That explains why not only in the HR orientation video you see hidden messages stating that, referring to the details and the exactness of how they're able to replicate her pink room, also has Ramona on the back of, spelled in the back of, right behind her, I guess the headrest or whatever for her bed in her bedroom. You see different messages like that where she's trying to kind of reach out to us. H0027 also stole files from the servers before she escaped, and those files are, in my opinion, the 3 videos that we found on the This Place Is Not Happy YouTube site. So this is my belief that Ramona Bynes actually posted these 3 videos here, and she's found a way to modify the film or the video in such a way that she can secretly give us tips on how to access the employee portal, how to access research and development, and lastly, what I hope is how to access the HR department. Each of the videos gives us a hint on how to move forward one step further in the puzzle. So I do believe that she is giving us these hints here. Aside from that, I also noticed that, whenever we watch the videos, she said something to the effect like, "This is not me," right? And don't feed them. So there might be more than one mother, which kind of tied to the whole a sponsorship thing that Happy Meat Farms is doing. They were doing collaborations with YouTube channels and up-and-coming channels to help them, just promote their product, right? So in the beginning of these videos, there's one with Alex Bale, Cynical Critic, Sonic the Blue Rat, and a few others that are all sponsored by Happy Meat Farms. When you watch the SpongeBob Theory number 3 and onward for Alex Bale's video series, you realize that those videos are vastly and largely successful, and they're getting double-digit millions of views versus what I also think is successful, but not nearly as much so, maybe 200,000 views on one of his horror film shorts, because he's something of a director that makes these short horror films, if you will. but they don't even compare in terms of performance to these SpongeBob theories. Well, after SpongeBob theory number 3 and onward, you start learning that there's some sort of creature that seems to be referred to as a muse that is giving him this inspiration and actually giving him the scripts of these videos in return for meat. And as it goes on, the meat needs to be more fresh. So fresh that it has to be alive, in fact. So then he's now feeding him cats and things like that. I haven't watched the last 2 episodes just yet because it was a busy weekend, but it's my opinion that he's either going to be, consumed by this creature, or maybe he's going to outright reject it, or something's going to happen. But it seems like it's escalating further and further, and the relationship is getting more and more tense. But in other words, I mean, this creature is something of a muse, because I did notice that on his playlist there was something that said "Don't feed the muse." So maybe there are multiple muses around, and this is what Mother is. Or maybe the muses are Mother's children, and they're all trying to connect so that they can, create this new world order that we've seen, this agenda that's been pushed throughout the website, throughout the employee orientation videos and things like that. So that is essentially where we're at. It's my opinion that these creatures came from wherever. They, Ramona Bynes was in a bind. She met up, somehow found this creature, got inspiration from this creature. Then Happy Meat Farms was incredibly successful from that point forward, but she had to continuously sacrifice certain things like her scruples and whatever else, and also give up large amounts of meat to this creature to keep feeding it. After a while, she wanted to cut ties with it, and guess what? They probably either, they obviously experimented on her, and then they cloned her or created an imposter that is now taking her place. That's why she says, "This is not me," right? And I think that that's possible. It's possibly what they're doing throughout, I guess, the world, and in the scope of, even these YouTube collaborations that they're doing. These creators are also being assimilated or turned into imposters once the muse has had its fill. So that's my opinion on the entire thing. Obviously, I'm going to put it together for you guys in a really nice and neat, concise video, so you can not only learn how to navigate the entire ARG yourself, but also understand it fully in the scope that it's not just limited to Happy Meat Farms and Ramona Bynes, but also impacts YouTube creators around the world. So it's a really neat ARG so far. I've truly enjoyed it. The first I've ever really delved into or dived into. But anyways, much more to come. Let's see if we can jump into the next step. So I'll let you know kind of what I did next. And let me see. I can't go back home, it looks like. So Happy Meat Farms. Okay, here we are again. So from here, we're going to want to go to the Employee Access Portal, and then we're going to want to go to, oh man, it makes me input the code every time now. Fortunately, I remember these. Okay, so now we're going to try to access here. So what took me a while, so immediately after this stream, it was funny because my wife kind of heard some of the things I was saying in regards to the actual stream itself, and she got it piqued her curiosity. So she actually volunteered to be like, "Hey, I can help you find whatever you're looking for." And so in the video, I know that we had found the letters W and the number 7, and I had the timestamps down. Those letters and numbers were found in this HR orientation video here. She was able to find 3 other numbers and letters at these timestamps. So let's just jump in the video and watch the ad. Just kidding, we're gonna skip the ad. Okay, so there are certain timestamps that we were able to see this stuff. So at 1 minute 30 seconds, we all found the letter W. Now, one thing I noticed is that my frackin' computer is so opposite of bright, so it's dark. I guess the brightness is so low. I had no clue how much you could see on a normal monitor. I usually keep the brightness pretty low because my eyes are really sensitive to that stuff. That gives me headaches. So on her monitor, I mean, that thing is like a freaking, it's like daytime in these little scenes here, and you can see so much more. But anyways, she was able to then find some additional letters. So as always, I forgot to add my little cursor, but if you look at the letter E and you go all the way up, track your little eyes all the way up, you'll see like a weird like pink symbol there. It looks like an N or a W. Or it's a W. And on the last stream, I did take screen prints and I did enhance the image so we could make sense of that and make sure that it was indeed a W. There was a pink letter. It made me then tie it back to the pink room and think, okay, maybe there's other pink digits around in this video that we can find, because Ramon is probably trying to give us a message. My only problem is, even to this very moment, I was thinking, and I still believe, that we're missing a digit or letter, because up to this point, both the employee access and the research and development department have required a password that's 6 digits long and that has an XXYYYX format. So that is meaning it's a 6-digit code, but it has 2 letters, 3 numbers, and then 1 letter. So that's how normally the codes have been up to this point. This one does not seem to have that same format. We've scoured this video multiple times, watched it over and over again. We've tried to analyze how many seconds between each of these cuts and stuff is the average for one of these letters to appear, and there were 2 instances where they were likely to have appeared, but we just simply cannot find one. So it's my guess that either we have to just take a guess at what that digit is, or we just enter the code that we currently have, and maybe that's it, and maybe it's just an exception. I don't know, but we'll find out at some point in the future. Anyway, so at 1 minute 30 seconds we found a W, and my wife found all the rest, actually. Other than the 7. I found the 7, but apparently, okay, right here above the X, I can't even see that on my screen, but above the X, so look at the chair and then track your eyes up to the X that's like taped. Above that, there is an F. I can't see it on my screen because my brightness is really low, but apparently there is an F there. And I was taking screenshots of them, but I did it on her computer, so I didn't actually have them as I usually have them enhanced for you guys to show you like in a little montage. But that's where we found the F. And then all the way beyond this, so far it's fitting that format, right? Letter. So I'm like, okay, we need to find a number next. Well, at 214, there should be a 7 right in the far right corner here. So you should look at that, whatever that little graded vent is. To the right of that, there's a 7, the 7 with a line through it, so you know not to, that it's, you can't mistake it for anything else. And then this is where one of the larger gaps are. The biggest gap was from F to, pretty much the 45-second or larger gap from the letter F to the number 7. So we couldn't find anything there, but it did fit the format of letter, number. So now we're looking for the second number. And this is where we had to wait for a full 40 seconds and all the way until 2:54. That is where we found the next letter, or actually the next number, I should say. And right here in this little scene right here, you're gonna see below the word the, because you can't see my cursor, there's like a white piece of cardboard that looks maybe square in shape, but there is a pink letter, a pink number 1, and it's the number 1 like you see like in Sesame Street, like the number 1, that kind of one. Well, anyways, this is where it gets a little confusing, because we were thinking that there was going to be a number either in between 2 minutes 14 seconds and 2 minutes 54 seconds, and if not, then this number 1 is going to be the first digit, and then you'd have anything between 2:54 and 3 minutes and 10 seconds, which is where the last letter that we've been able to locate was. We scoured this video, like I said, multiple times. We could not find anything. I mean, nothing. The only thing that even looks like a potential option was this one door that has like it, but it doesn't look like a number. Everything else has been pink, and there's Jared. Matter of fact, we saw Jared in multiple instances just stalking us from the ceiling tiles. I thought he was in another area as well, so I think I've seen Jared 3 times, including our introduction to Jared. So it was really interesting. But anyways, the other piece was on the threshold of a door, which I could not find. I couldn't find right now. But anyways, it looked like a number 1 or an I. Really hard to tell, but it was like scratched out. So I don't think, and it wasn't pink. So again, we don't believe that that's what it is. Here at 310, above old Wolfie here, there's the letter A. You certainly cannot see it, but if you look at the dog, look at his eyes, go to the middle of his back, and then go up, and on that rectangular part behind where the door's opened, there should be the letter A. And so she was able to find the F, 1, and A. I found the W and the 7, but the problem is it's not 6 digits, and it's either two things. We're either missing a number, which would then fit the format that has matched every single thing up to this point, or if we're not missing a digit or a number, then it's just a different code. It's just literally a 5-digit code, and that's it. We're just overthinking it, which is really odd considering everything up to this point has been so clean. So I am going to just try to input this code. If that doesn't work, we have 20 guesses, literally. We can put... Well, I don't know how many attempts, and I am kind of scared to lock myself out, but I think it'll be fine. But anyways, WF7, it could be blank 1A or WF7 1 blank A. And all you have are the choices, at this point, 0 through 9 on either side, which is 10 digits times 2 is 20. So within 20 attempts, I guarantee that I can find it if it fits that format, if we have enough attempts. If not, then it's WF7 1A. And that's simply just an exception to this code format that we have been following up to this point. So I guess without further ado, let's just jump right in and see if we can do this thing. All right, so password, caps lock, baby, WF71A, and this probably won't work. And if it doesn't, we're just going to have to do our little code thing. Okay, it worked. That was awesome. So, babe, it worked. My wife's working in the other room, but she's the one that found the 3. I wouldn't have been able to find them, so freaking yes. And she was like obsessing over. She's like, we gotta figure out the last letter. Okay, that's freaking awesome. My wife's amazing. I don't know why that wasn't the same format, but she had said just to try it as it is. And if not, I was like, well, in 20 attempts, we can unlock it. Yes. Okay, let's see what it says. Happy Meat Farms Human Resources Department. Welcome to the Happy Meat Farms Human Resources Department portal. We're so glad to have you on our most important team. We lucky chosen few have the honor to directly work with Mother to create the New World Order. Please watch this helpful orientation video to acquaint yourself with the HR building. I believe that's the same video. We'll go into that. That's clearly going to tie it to the video that's leaked, but let's just see. We'll jump into that in just a moment. There are some images here we probably need to examine. They all seem to be from the video, though. So, Mother has blessed us with many children, oh gosh, over the years. The children are the muses. It is our duty to make sure they find the right hosts and properly grow into their final form. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, the children are probably the muses that's tying to the Alex Bale thing. And then once they, like I said, once they have their fill, they assimilate into these hosts, and then they grow into their final form. Probably another mother, right? Oh my gosh. The New World Order will not be something easily achieved. Humans are a violent and determined species, but they can be manipulated. If we are to gain control, it cannot be taken by force. It must be willingly given to us. HR is where we ensure that our control is absolute. This is where the nightmares are made. Oh my gosh, that's creepy. Fun fact, the HR department building was originally a hospital near the farm. It serves a much greater purpose now. That's something we obviously noticed, not only because of the instrumentation and all that is inside the building, but the layout. You found all these like examination type rooms that had the beds that you can lay in and things like that. So we definitely gleaned that from the orientation video. But okay, so oh my gosh, I haven't been taking notes. Notes. Human resources page. Okay, so first things first, I need to put this right here because I can't believe it. Mother has blessed us with many children. So first thing is Mother has blessed us with many children, and that is just terrifying because, and I think the oddest thing of all is who is the narrator, who is writing this? Is a human writing this? Because they're definitely in some sort of cult thing right now. I mean, whenever they start using that kind of terminology, mother, whatever, that is definitely indicative of like a cult or brainwashing or whatever. So I wonder who is writing. Is it a human narrator, or is it a host or another one of the children that is kind of helping us transition between like, hey, this is what you think life is. This is the new world order we're gonna start implementing. So whoa. Okay, so obviously they're trying to make us willingly give them control, not by force. They want humans to willingly give control. I'll put not by force. Because I bet if it was something by force, they wouldn't win. They don't seem to be. I mean, they do have tentacles and stuff, so they could possibly be strong. But, I mean, how strong are you against a bullet, right? I mean, I don't know. How strong are these creatures? How resilient are they? They seem to be more of like a brain type species. You know, like they use their brain over the brawn, right? Obviously, the New World Order is their ultimate goal. So, New World Order, but they even have that stuff on like the orientation videos. So I mean, again, they're not shy about promoting this agenda. Okay, now we have Project Nightmare. That's terrifying. Project Nightmare. Now let's see what this is. In order to keep our hosts in line, there are many different physical and psychological pressures that can be applied to them. We found that the most effective forms of pressure can be applied by using one of our many fully assimilated children. In some instances, we may also trick one of our hosts into unknowingly manipulating another resistant host. Okay, let me read that again. So, the children and the hosts seem to be different. The host must be the one that assumes the form of, or is like literally like a host, as in a parasite type deal. Just the vessel for these children. So, let's read that again. We found that the most effective forms of pressure can be applied by using one of our many fully assimilated children. Okay, children. In some instances, we may trick one of our hosts. Oh, okay. So essentially, they're using the host, maybe one that has already been assimilated, or one that's drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak, to get into maybe manipulating another host. And you know what I'm thinking just from that line right there? I feel like out of the examples that we've been given for hosts, Ramona Bynes, not so much. The only other host that I can think of that come to mind are the YouTube collaborators. Alex Bale is definitely resistant. He's tried to sever the ties with his, I'm going to call it the muse, I don't know, which is one of the children, right? So I believe that then Cynical Critic was bashing him in one of his videos for doing the horror short films. He was saying, look, bro, just stick to the SpongeBob theories, you know, like don't kid yourself, you know? You're not a director, you're just a good SpongeBob theory guy. And maybe he is a host that has essentially assisted in the manipulation of pushing Alex Bale to continue doing these theories, because obviously he's continued on and done several more theories, right? So maybe that's an example of what this is talking about here. But there are some cases that may require a bit more creativity. This is where Project Nightmare comes in. This room was designed to test genetically modified human hair cells that would grow from behind walls or in the ceiling. Okay. Oh, they're talking about all the different rooms. This is the hair room, duh. But so this room was designed to test genetically modified human hair that would grow behind walls. So okay, there's not a creature behind it. It's just they're trying to grow hair from the walls. This prototype was later used to successfully recondition a host who had a childhood trauma involving hair. Okay, so Project Nightmare seems to be like psychological warfare. It's like, what trauma do you have as a resistant host that is kind of like something they can use to leverage or manipulate you? So essentially a way to break you down psychologically and then say, okay, yep, you're one of us now. So that is interesting. I'm going to actually take note of that really quickly. I just need to find the words. I would say designed rooms that would be used to recondition resistant hosts. And I'm going to put trauma in caps, because essentially if you're like inducing that psychological trauma, that's just a great way in. It's like putting your foot in the door to be able to then start manipulating someone's mind like putty. Okay, cool. So that's creepy. While this may appear to... Oh my gosh. I just thought about this right now. That means that Ramona's room was the pink room. That was her room to break her down. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's awesome. While this may appear to be an ordinary balloon, it's actually an advanced piece of technology. We're able to control where it goes and even speak directly through it. It's an excellent replica of a balloon that a host gave to their recently deceased daughter. We managed to convince the host that the balloon was possessed by the daughter's spirit. After that, it became much easier to make the host comply. See, it's all about that psychological warfare. Okay, I'm going to put that there. Psychological warfare. So these are not, creatures that are warring species that use their superior physical condition. They might not even be. They could be inferior in that regard, but they obviously know what makes a human tick, and that is the heart and the brain, right? So they know to attack those directly. That's interesting. Okay, so these things are kind of bastards, but okay. Specific information on each host will be provided by the IT department. That's huge. Okay. Specific info, which we haven't... Oh, Jared. Specific info provided by IT department. And we know he's important because Ramona Bine says, I hate that freak. Also, I have noticed, because I've watched the orientation video like 30 times, that he is stalking us as you are approaching or delivering the asset in the orientation video for HR. So he is watching us in at least 3 instances. Well, I'd say 2. The third one is the one we meet him. But I had some timestamps on where he might actually be watching us from afar. And that's really interesting. Let me see if I can find those, actually. R&D. I have so many notes, guys. Let's see. Jared works here. I'm a note taker, that's for sure. No. I must have wrote it on my other notepad because it was getting real messy. Okay, that's fine. So we have that. For now, we have the fact that Project Nightmare is designed to recondition resistant hosts through psychological trauma and warfare, and specific info for these individuals is provided by the IT department, along with recommendations for creating different nightmares. Okay, so Jared's kind of a bastard. That's why we don't like him. I guess we keep reading down. I don't know. It's just a weird... The 2-column thing for me has always been confusing. Like, I never know. Do I read like from left to right and then down and then go to the next column, or what? I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to do it that way. The dog area. The dogs. If you've explored the HR department, you may have come across a few of the many dogs in the building. My cat is trying so hard to get some love right now. She's like, touch me, love me. Before we moved on to human trials, I'm touching her right now. Before we moved on to human trials, the R&D department tested a batch of domesticated canines in Project Chimera, which we learned was the project where mother's DNA was being inserted. The experiments led to no substantial increase in biomass, but instead of termination, we decided to allow them to roam freely in the HR department as pets to boost morale. Oh my gosh, my cat is right here. Do you see? I wonder if you guys can see her. Okay, this is spooky. Feel free to pet the dogs. You heard me talking about dogs and you got jealous, didn't you? Let's see. Well, she's famous now. You've been revealed to the world, Spooky. Feel free to pet the dogs if you come across them, except that one little bastard. The leak. This is in red. This must be very important. In September of 2021, a YouTube channel known as This Place Is Not Happy began leaking classified videos from this HMF private servers. See, I'm telling you, that's where H0027, the host, or in my opinion, Ramona Bynes, uploaded the information. Or she obtained the information from the private servers, uploaded it to YouTube. Needless to say, this breach in security is a massive risk to the New World Order. We have then also tied the fact that, yeah, H0027 is a high risk to HMF. Remember, the cow was like minimal risk or whatever, or mid risk or something like that, medium level. And something else was like a low risk, the chicken, the acidic chicken that escaped. We have a decent idea of who is behind the channel, but all attempts to locate them have been unsuccessful. Any information about the whereabouts of this leaker will be greatly rewarded. Under no circumstances can they be allowed to release the IT files. Oh my gosh, right next to it. Look, oh my gosh. I'm not going to skip ahead, but the IT department, Access IT Portal, and it has Jared's freckin' face. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to jump right back to that. No worries. Oh, that's exciting. Okay. I already read the fun fact. Feed Mother. We know that's the primary objective, is to feed Mother. At the Human Resources Department, we have the privilege to be the ones to feed Mother. Unlike the children, Mother requires more than just regular living organisms to grow. The R&D department will provide us with the assets that have, with assets that have a much more suitable amount of biomass. Some larger assets may require alternative pathways to reach Mother. Please proceed with caution as you transport an asset to Mother. We don't want another repeat of M0101. Spider Cow Guy. Let me make sure chat is... Yeah, they're non-existent, as per usual. Just kidding. So let's see. We have kind of confirmed a few of my initial theories. So Mother requires a different type of diet, than the children. And it's probably because, obviously, she's a mama. She's got to create these babies, so she needs to have more mass and whatever else. And so as she's maybe birthing these children, she has to have a different diet, and probably something that's just not available here on Earth. So, damn it, I'm good. Extracting DNA. Okay, and so she's allowing us to do it, it seems, because there would be no... So essentially, I think it's through her instruction, like I mentioned in the previous one, that she is giving us the permission to extract her DNA so that we can use it to then feed her. Circle of life, baby. In order to create the genetically modified assets, DNA must be taken from Mother and given to the R&D department. If you work at HR long enough, you might be given the highest honor of getting up close with... Ow! Why'd you hit me? With Mother. And she's licked me so hard, but she headbutted me and it hurt. If you work at HR long enough, you might be given the highest honor of getting up close with Mother and extracting the DNA directly from her. Lucky you. A set of extraction tools will be provided to you. While you're in Mother's chamber, you'll want to be as quiet and as careful as possible. It is unlikely to happen to you, but there have been times where Mother has mistaken an employee for food. It happens. In this unlikely event, you should still be honored that Mother chose you to be eaten. True. I'm down with that. Spooky, your hair is getting everywhere. I can't see. The reconnection. We decoded this message that said... Oh, Spooky. It says... Move your face. No. What? Hold on. I know I had it somewhere. Your tail. Everything's in the way. It says... I know I have this translated somewhere. Oh, host assimilated, Mother colony established, preparing the reconnection. This is the reconnection that they're referring to. This is excellent. Okay, right here. Right. I actually need a new page of notes already, so we're going to continue the human resources page just a bit. Spooky, your hair is everywhere. You're disgusting. She left. She got mad at me for yelling at her. We're going to go ahead and continue, so I'll put continued. Boom, right there. Reconnection. Once Mother reaches full size, oh my gosh, so she's not even full size yet, and the children reach their final forms, they will return to become reconnected. Oh my goodness gracious. There is some text here. I'm gonna. Oh man, it says redacted. Here, the children were shared the redacted, digested from their hosts, and mother will give the children their next instructions. So the children are assimilating with the host and they're consuming something. If you think about that, what are they giving us? We're giving them meat. They're giving us inspiration. And maybe it's just that maybe they just take from that greed from us, right? Like they're just like, ooh, they feed off of our greed, right? I don't know exactly what it is, but the reconnection's huge. Let me actually write about this, because this is, to me, probably the key behind their entire existence and the reason behind their purpose. Like, what is it that they're trying to do? What, so once mother is full size and children are in their final forms, they return. And where are they returning? Are they returning home? To become reconnected, which also kind of ties it to a hive mind type species that I mentioned in the beginning, because I thought the word mother in and of itself was very hive mind. But if they're wanting to be reconnected with a colony, right? They're trying to reestablish connection with colony. That's important. That leads you to like kind of like, what is their way of living? Like, it seems to me that they are communal, kind of organism or species. So, okay, it says the children. I can't spell. The children will share. I'm put blank. Digested from their hosts. And what is this blank? Is it the greed? Is it some sort of like feeling that they can only harvest from humans? Some sort of emotional type thing? Because let's think of it. I can't imagine it's something that we have within us, meaning like an actual physical part. Like, it's the pancreas. We gotta have a pancreas. Now we have the pancreas. Now we're good to go. It's like, no, because they could then eat any number of creatures, right? So there's something specifically within their human hosts that they are ingesting that is being digested, so they can share it back with upon the reconnection. And that's huge. The fact that they are sharing it upon their reconnection. So it makes me think that it's something kind of like, I don't know, I mean, like something that's not tangible. Like I said, like, is it hope? Is it a negative feeling? Greed? And what is it that they're feeding off of? Because clearly it's greed that's driving you to try and be, to continue your relationship with the host. Because to continue receiving that inspiration so you can make these videos and get this YouTube, fame, whatever it be, like the success or that you're addicted to, or just, whatever that is. That's driven by greed. But it could also come from a good place, which would be like hope. Like you're hopeful that you're going to be successful or whatever. But in the end, I don't know if it's pulling from a good feeling or a bad one. So the children were shared the digested blank from their host. From hosts. I like it. I mean, it's creepy. And mother will give the children the next instructions. Okay, mother will give next instructions. All right. Interesting. Let's check chat, see what you guys are talking about. Nothing. Not a thing. Okay. I always forget to check chat because usually it's a little quiet. I like to stream around this time though, so the best thing about YouTube is you guys can always, pop in and see. Oh, I'm sorry, Crane. I'm sorry. Something's weird with the chat. Then let me. My wife's amazing. She's actually watching. Let's see. How do I YouTube? Let's do live control room. I am so sorry about that, guys. I popped out the chat earlier, and I'm so sorry that it didn't somehow link to the one I had done because it was the same stream. So I'm sorry about that, guys. Crane, my dude, should have known you were here. Sorry I'm late. How's it going? What new things you discover? You're not delayed. It just my mind was delayed because I popped out the wrong chat. So, anyways, what have we found? It's going great. My beard has been trimmed or chopped off completely, so I feel kind of sad about that. But I'm actually doing okay. And it's just to help maybe regrow it again, shape it up really nicely. But all of it was to here. Now it's to here. So, I actually hacked into the HR portal, man, because of my wife. I found 2 of the digits, and my wife found the other 3. I thought it was going to be the same format as a 6-digit code, but it was not. It was a 5-digit code. So we've been learning about Project Nightmare, which is essentially like psychological warfare. It breaks you down, and then it allows the host to be assimilated. We learned that IT provides the nightmares and the recommendations. And now we're just kind of reading about the rest of the site. Reading through the rest of the site about the different things that are going on. Extracting the DNA, things we already saw in the HR orientation video. The reconnection was the most recent thing we've been kind of looking at. But it seems like once mother is full size and the children are fully assimilated or they've become their final forms, whatever they've been taking from their hosts, that's going to be shared with whatever, maybe the colony upon the reconnection. So that's really interesting. I'm not really sure the details of what's going to happen, but it is pretty cool. It's fine. Hope you're doing great today. Hope you had a great weekend as well, my friend. So anyways, that's kind of where we're at. We're pretty close to finishing up this page, and then we'll check out this. I didn't know. Well, oh, there's a live feed too. I didn't even see that. But let's see what digestion's about, because that was one of the things that up above it did kind of allude to, but it didn't give us a lot of detail. So digestion. Digestion is the final and most difficult phase of a child's relationship with their host, but it is also the most important if we are to achieve our goals. It says the hosts, and then we'll read this. Oh no, again. The host's redacted cannot simply be taken. The will and identity of the host must be completely broken down before digestion can be completed. The process may be torture for the host, but it is necessary to break down their will. So it must be then something good. Like it must be like their hope or their dreams or whatever, you know. It's something that cannot be taken, so that means we now know it's not physical. I just talked about that a few moments ago. So it's not like a physical organ or something that we have inside of us that they're wanting to take. That is very interesting. I'm going to take some notes. I'm going to move the chat over here, and I'm going to take some notes on that. So digestion is the most difficult, but the most important. So most difficult and important stage. And I wonder why, because again, whatever it is that they are taking, they are sharing it with the colony once they reconnect. And that's very interesting. Blank cannot be taken. So if it can't be taken, the only way to do it is by completely understanding your host, I guess. The will and identity of the host must be completely broken down. Must break down will and identity. That's interesting. Again, I am assuming it's like something positive, like a feeling that they're trying to take from you. Must break down will and identity before digestion can be completed. Okay, that's interesting. The process may be torture, but it's necessary to break down their will. Sounds like digestion is synonymous with the sunken place. The sunken place? Sounds like a... Oh, from Get Out. Okay, nice. Ooh, yeah, it could be. There's definitely something that... Because they're trying to take away your identity, so that's important, because they are going to assimilate you. But they also want to break down your will, obviously, because your will is going to prevent them from doing that. But what is it that they're taking from you, you know? I don't know. It's very interesting. Like, I honestly feel like it's an emotion or a feeling that maybe only humans have. Because then why aren't they assimilating cats, dogs, pigs, whatever, right? They're just eating those. So I like it. Okay, IT department. I have no clue what the code's going to be, but I did notice that in the HR orientation video, we see Jared in numerous instances. So that there may be some, some value to that. Let's see what it says. The IT department, run by Jared, is in charge of monitoring all of the hosts and reporting directly to Mother. IT personnel can access the department's portal with their unique IT ID code. Okay. Well, we know we don't have that just yet. My message doesn't appear in your chat. That's weird. I don't know why. I'm seeing it now. In the previous chat, for whatever reason, it wasn't. Because I had popped out the chat box prior to starting or launching the stream. So I think that was definitely my fault. In all the other instances, I've waited and then I popped it out. But, yeah, my bad. So yeah, I'm reading. I'm getting everything you're saying now, though. There is a little bit of a delay I've noticed too, though. But I definitely am seeing what you're saying now. So whatever you have to share, I am here, my friend. I'm gonna minimize chat so we can see what's on this live chamber feed. Mother chamber live feed. I don't see anything yet, and I can't click on it. So maybe it just Nah, it's not your fault. I see. Well, let's see what the heck. I'm just not going to touch the screen for a bit and see if anything actually happens with the live feed. It might just be like a little video they record. It maybe takes like 1 to 2 minutes long, and it probably cycles back and forth because you can't actually click on it. Not seeing anything yet. And this is definitely the room where they delivered the asset in the HR video, so I'm going to minimize this. That way it knows like I'm on this screen. Maybe that's the key. Still waiting, Mother. Ready to take notes. And it's a live feed, so it's not a still image. It's just very still. I'll hydrate while I'm waiting. While I was scrolling down, I felt like I saw, but it seemed like a cartoonish figure at the bottom. It could have just been my imagination, but I swear I saw something. And I can't click on this. What is the feed? Oh, okay. It looks like one of the experiments. We could probably find out which one from the genome modification test. So I did see something. But he's just there and he disappears, so. Golly, that took forever too, so. I'll put human subject. Maybe the ones that got delivered. Human subject appears, then disappears. And we could certainly find out who that one. That's probably like the first one, Not the old man that looks like, like a fish dude, but the one that was larger, but they still, I thought they terminated him, but we'll give it another minute or so. See if there's anything else. I have no clue how to progress any further from here, and the IT portal will probably, if we're following suit, which they've already deviated from the path once with this HR department. We typically get a video, and then that video leads us to a code, and that code leads to the next department. The HR orientation video deviated from the other two because it was different in the fact that it did not have... That's a weird looking guy. I print screened that just so I can have that. I don't know what the heck that is. That's a different looking creature though, but random creature. So there's instance 1, instance 2. I did screenshot it, so we're going to enhance the hell out of that guy in a little bit. As I was saying though, the first two employee portals, employee access, and the research and development, they did have a 6-digit code. The HR department was not like that, and it was really weird. So the fact that it only had 5 means that the IT department could have anywhere from 5 or more, and it doesn't need to necessarily follow the, the XXYYYX format. So that is going to be something that's going to make it even more difficult to find the actual code. Since we saw an image a little bit, we'll give it another minute, and we'll see if we see anything else. So far, we've seen one of the human subjects. I saw another creature that I didn't recognize. It looked like, I don't know, it looked like half of a person, but sticking out from the floor. But it's probably like one of the chickens or something that I just couldn't really make sense of. And to be honest, my thought is that either there's two things that I'm thinking about this live feed. If the live feed does indeed lead us to the IT portal, all of the creatures that it's going to be showing, those subjects, when we go back to the videos that contain those subjects, that's where the secret's going to be, the code or whatever. Or if not, it's just kind of tying it all together, saying, hey, everything that we said was being sent to HR, you're going to see in the live feed. So I'm not really sure which is which, but it's either one of the two. There's no other possibility. It's either just for the entertainment value and tying it all together for the cohesiveness, or it is giving us hints as to what the next code is for the IT portal, because it's giving us the subjects that we might need to examine and find, and then maybe create a code out of to access the new department. Not only that, but the HR orientation video does have Jared popping in and out multiple times. So try to hack in the website, then try to find any secret code or something. I don't know what to suggest now. That's a person. Okay, so it's like almost like a doctor. It looks like someone with a lab coat. So number 3 is lab coat. Okay. Man, it's been 3 different ones each time. So I guess we'll give it a little bit more time. I mean, hell, I got nothing to do. Try to hack the website. I will try. Once we maybe cycle back to that human subject, the fat dude, maybe we can. That means we've seen all the images, and then from there, we can try and access the IT portal. I want to enhance that image that I just took a screenshot of. It's a creature that I didn't recognize, and from what I could see with my terrible vision, it looked like something that was poking out of the floor. Obviously, it's a solid floor, so it must have been like a chicken or something that I just couldn't make out. Maybe they don't want to feed Mother, but they're forced to. Yeah, they're either drinking the Kool-Aid, meaning like they are like, yes, Mother's awesome, and worshiping her willingly, or they are being forced. But I think that it's more the former. I think that they're willingly doing it, because there was some evidence and some text on the HR portal that said specifically another one. Now it's like 4 people bringing in like I don't know, like 4 people bringing in an asset. I don't know. 4 people bringing an asset. It said something to the effect that in order to create the New World Order, humans are violent and intelligent. They cannot be forced to do so. It says they must willingly give us control. So it makes me believe that maybe they can't strong arm us. Maybe it's just the prospect of, oh, we'll give you this, humans, if you do what we say. And they're just trying to eat us or assimilate us or digest whatever it is that we have in us. I don't know if they're like, the tough kind of aliens. They could probably kill individual humans, because it does say that Mother has eaten or mistaken certain of the employees as food. But I can guarantee, I mean, if you had a squad of people probably with guns or whatever, Mother would be spaghetti by the end of the day. But good observation. It is possible. I don't know. Maybe they terrorized us at first, you know, and they did use their strength. And now, since it's like, okay, I've established I'm superior as this alien, now they have to, you know, now they're like, yep, we'll do what you say, Mother, kind of thing. But I have a feeling that she took a more peaceful and thought out approach as opposed to this pure violence, because I imagine that it would have been met with human force. You know how destructive we are. Okay, we've gone through for like minutes now, and each time it's been a different image. I wonder if there's some merit to like figuring out what each of those images really are and enhancing all of them. I mean, at least in my off time, I could definitely do that. Get a screen print of each of the images that shuffle through and see all of them together. Make sure they don't, you know, at what point do they cycle through? Are they giving us any hints towards anything else? This will be the final time I kind of wait for it, just to see if there's anything else. I'm going to enhance that one picture because I'm curious to see what it is. Then we'll try and hack the IT portal. But this is so much fun. Next time, that's the one I think I saw first. See, I don't know. Is this lab coat the same guy? Is this the same? I don't know. In either case, it pretty much happens like once every minute. Once every minute and a half. We're going to go to this right here. And we're going to delete this. And we're going to remember how to use the computer. There it is. See, what the heck is that? Make sure we ain't missing anything. And we're going to zoom in. What is that? See if we missed anything. Oh, okay. I don't know if it started over again or whatever. But anyways, okay. So that is kind of weird looking. I thought like it does look like it's halfway through the floor, right? That is not one of the experiments that I remember seeing. I don't know. He's an ugly guy. Regardless, he is hideous. Well, I don't know. Not much to go off of there, but it is interesting that we do have these different creatures we haven't seen. We've seen, I guess, I'm assuming, a number of the HR employees that are in lab coats delivering the assets. I don't know. But I don't know exactly at what point the feed, you know, is going to stop playing, but I don't want to necessarily sit the whole time and wait for it. That can be something we do off stream, and we can maybe see what images are cycled through, and once it finally repeats, then we know, okay, we've gathered all the images, so we can maybe try and make sense of them at that point. Okay, Jared. Let's see. Jared, blah, blah, blah. It's just another. There's no way. I don't have anything on this guy. Oh, Jared. Let's see. Let's review the notes, and while we're doing that, I'll pull up chat. Make sure if you guys want to say anything. So, for Jared, I don't have much other than that he is in the HR orientation video. There's also a secret message where Ramona Bynes is saying, "I hate that freak." So clearly she knows his association with Project Nightmares. Or Project Nightmare. Yeah. I don't see anything else. Okay. Well, one thing we could try is looking at those scenes where he does pop up real quick. There's our asset we gotta deliver. 3 rules. Don't look at anything, but you gotta have fun. And then everything else is like, look at everything. Bum bum. Yeah, that was where one of the first codes was. Whole room. There's nothing here. I don't want to. Hair room. We learned that all of these rooms are we also learned that I live right next to the ambulance, but all of these rooms are designed to create or make the host relive like traumatic experiences so that they can break them down psychologically, which is pretty mean if you ask me, but it's also really cool. Really? It says my message still doesn't appear. I'm seeing it. If you're whatever it is you're typing, unless maybe it's like a link or something, and maybe I have links blocked. But if it's not a link, I should be seeing it for sure. I know it takes a little bit, but nothing's blocked. I don't have anything but like links blocked, I think. So I'm sorry you're having a hard time with that. All of these rooms, the flesh room. I wonder who has a flesh, like maybe like you throw a vegetarian in there or something, and they're like, oh my gosh. I would die in the rat room. That would break down my psychological barriers. The rat room or that little roach, that would also be a room that would completely destroy me. And here I'm really just trying to see who's this dude. That's interesting, right? Maybe that's just one of the subjects that was broken down, right? Maybe. I don't know. It's not a link. I don't know what's happening. I'm just weird. I wonder what you're saying because for whatever reason, I'm seeing the messages where you're saying, oh, my message isn't being sent. But I can't see that message, whatever it is. So I am sorry about that. I don't have any restrictions. Like, you can cuss and do whatever you want. But I can't. I know the links are removed. But if it's not a link, I have no clue. And I'm sorry it's causing you a hard time. Okay, I'm looking for the Jared parts here. This is the pink room that kind of tied us to everything else. Obviously, it's so funny because it has horses, horses, cows, and pigs. We know that there's secret messages up there. I thought for a second that like the roach's little antenna were giving you like a time. You know, like it was like a clock and it was giving you a number or a time. I don't know. But I also don't want to stare at a roach for too long because that's disgusting. Okay, Jared's right there. So at 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Let's see. I'll put this right here. So timestamps for Jared appearances. Two minutes and 37 seconds. If you can see, in the missing tile, there's like that same 3 lights. You can only see 2 of the lights right now, but one of those is unmistakably Jared's head. So that is one instance where you see him. I do have another instance on another notepad somewhere that I found him, but maybe we can find it again. The birthday room. Crane says, my ideas are being rejected by YouTube. No, probably what's happening is they know what you're trying to do. You're trying to solve this ARG, so they're like, nah, man, you're not gonna do it. We won't let you solve the mystery. That's funny. Maybe your ideas are just too good. They're like, nah, we can't let this kid show all of his cards just yet. I thought there was one other instance, because we're about to come up on actual Jared right now. So there was a second time I thought I saw him, and I remember specifically being off to the left. I may be wrong, but come on. I can't believe that code worked. My wife's amazing. I wouldn't have been able to see it. Even now, my screen is so dark. It's very hard for me to see. This is where we see Jared, I think. Yep, he's in the like freezer room. So maybe he likes it cold. There's Jared's eyes right there. We saw those same eyes up in the area with the missing ceiling tile. Let's see if he pops up again. I don't think he will. I still want to know what that is, but we haven't seen it so far, or I don't think we will. It's probably more of a joke, because then we see like this whole group of people. What if they're just all connected, you know? And then this is HR. Okay, so let me get my other notepad really quickly, because I wrote a bunch of notes on where I thought Jared was appearing. Oh, at 2:02. Okay. But where? In the very back, maybe? I mean, I was on it. This is probably when I had the super duper brightness screen. Sorry, I have to go, but I'll come back later probably. Okay, take care, man. Always appreciate you coming by. Just so you know, next stream, which is Wednesday, will not be a stream where we analyze another analog horror just yet. I'm going to do my challenge run for Wolong Fallen Dynasty. So I'd still love to have you by, but just know it's going to be slightly different. It'll be more video game related, but we're going to jump into Vita Carnis next, okay? So we'll be talking about when that happens next stream. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for stopping by. And sorry that you're so smart. YouTube just says, no, we can't have you say that because it's just too genius. But I hope you have a great rest of your day, my friend. I'm going to enhance this image to confirm that this is Gerard. Let's see. Adjust. Enhance. That's definitely Jared. You got the 3 eyes right there. Yep, I'm smart. Okay, so 2:02 and 2:37. So I hate that it's not in order, but that's fine. The first instance we see him is 2:02. See if I can just create. There it is. And then 2:37. Excellent. Those are the 2 instances that I know we can see him. Maybe, just maybe, these messages here, like the actual words, are important. But I always notice like the punctuation just isn't correct. And even on some of Alex Bale's videos, like the grammar is just wrong, or he just misspells things. I think that's just like people just misspell stuff, and that's fine. Or they just don't do grammar. They don't syntax right, you know, and that's fine. But I wasn't sure if there was a key to it, you know. Funny thing is, I did a April Fool's joke saying that I was quitting my channel, and all of the capital letters spelled April Fools. It was kind of fun. I mean, a lot of people were kind of like sad about it, but and then some were like, "Oh, we figured that out, bro. Like real easy." I'm like, "Okay, well, you guys are geniuses. You're gonna help me solve these mysteries, then." So 2:02 and 2:37. That seems to be it. I bet on a brighter screen. Like, so what I'll do is after this stream, I'm gonna look on my wife's screen or monitor to see if we can find Jared anywhere else. I saw him at 2:02 and 2:37. I'll document all the other instances and screens where we see him, and if there's anything where it's on-screen text or anything else that maybe gives us a number or a digit that we can utilize to maybe translate into a code, that is what we'll do. And that code should lead us to IT. I feel like the IT code is going to be very difficult because Jared's probably a smart guy, and you know that he's watching, you know. So I mean, he's going to be very aware of things. So he's going to be the one to watch out for, and the code's probably going to be the most difficult so far. But anyways, that's a good, you know, I say that's a good stopping point. What we're going to do is we are pretty much stuck at the HR area, which is fine. I'll do some research and see if we can possibly find a way in, and if it's even something that's available yet. Like I was doing some reading, non-spoiler style, and I did notice that our ARG is still ongoing. It's supposed to end this year. I don't know if it already has, because it is April 23 already, so April 2023. I don't know if it already has ended or if there's still more content to be released. But in either case, I think that what we can do is at least see, is it where everybody in the community is kind of, you know, stumped, or is there still a way to continue forward? Before I do any of that kind of research, I want to do my own, and I want to see if I can find Jared, anything tying to IT, anything like that in the HR orientation video and the other videos that we've seen so far. The live feed also seems to be a little bit of a key, maybe hinting towards the next code. So I'll be looking at that as well. But other than that, I think this was an excellent stream. It was a shorter one than the others, but in general, I think we did accomplish quite a bit. We got into the HR department. We learned about the new projects. We kind of recapped everything we've learned thus far, and now we know we need to get to the IT department. So that'll be the next project. Until then, I'll be spending the rest of the week looking and scouring the footage so we can try and look for a IT department access code, or IT ID code specifically. And once we find it, I'll be sure to share it with you guys. In other news, I'll be putting together a guide on how to access all of the different departments within the Happy Meat Farms ARG, and on my main channel, the Inhuman one, I'll be putting together lore, kind of cohesively putting together the entire story so that you guys can see it from start to finish and how it ties to not just Happy Meat Farms, but YouTube as a whole. So I want to make sure you guys are aware of that story. It's really excellently done and expertly crafted, expertly written story. So I hope you guys enjoy it, but I'll make sure to make a nice, concise video so that you guys can understand it from start to finish, understand the lengths that it goes, and exactly like the, everything that it encompasses, because there's quite a bit. It's not just a meat factory. It is much more than that. And it's actually kind of tying into that New World Order, plus the YouTube algorithm, plus everything. So it's really neat because it can impact just about everybody on every level, right? So it's a really fun ARG. But anyway, so look forward to a guide on Inhuman Live, and look forward to lore on the Inhuman 1. Those are two of the channels that you guys obviously know. If you don't know how to access them, you can simply go to my About Me or the featured channels. I mean, there's a number of different ways. Every single video I have in the description links to my other channels as well, so you guys can always check those out. I do have a third channel, as I've mentioned multiple times, that covers things like anime and sci-fi, so you guys are welcome to check that out as well. But because you're here, I'd imagine you'd love to know more about the lore and future ARGs that we're going to be covering. So some of the things we will be doing in the future, the very near future, is Vita Carnis, Monument Mythos, and Mandela Catalog. Those are the other three ARGs that I had at least, when I say researched, I want you to know that I'm never researching and like finding anything out in terms of story, information, whatever. The only details that I am extracting are, where can I find it? Is this on YouTube? Is it on a random website? Do I have to go to California and touch a Durr Burger? Like, what am I having to do to interact and experience this from start to finish? Because I don't want to have like a piece because some random YouTuber just copied and pasted the video that the actual creator made, right? So my goal is I want to give credit to the creator that made it, the innovative mind that actually had the passion to create this kind of cool project. So that's the person I want to have rewarded for it. So I don't want to be going off of like imposter websites or the ones that just said, oh, I have the whole compilation here, and it's not even their video, right? So I make sure that I go to the source, and that is the only thing I do. So I don't do any further research than that. So the next one that I plan on exploring is going to be Vita Carnis, and I'm going to figure out what my schedule needs to look like for me to be able to fit in, you know, video game challenge runs and then these live reactions to analog horrors, because obviously if I'm streaming 3 times a week, I usually stream for multiple hours at a time. I don't know if it makes sense for me to do, you know, like a shorter stream on one or the other, like in the same day, right? Like while I'm streaming, if I'm streaming for like a 3-hour session, do I do 2 hours on item A and 1 hour on item B, or what do I do? Or do I just finish one project and then I jump into the next? I'm not really sure what I want to do with that yet, so I'm going to bounce a few ideas around and to figure out what works best for me, and of course that helps us all as a community, because obviously I want to make sure that, you know, we're keeping this going, because I absolutely love the analog horror and analyzation and live reaction and live theory crafting. That's so much fun to me. I don't think a lot of people actually do it live. So in order to be able to figure it out live and craft the lore and piece the puzzle together, I think that's pretty unique, and I want to continue delivering that kind of content. But I also like playing video games. All of my channels have some sort of focus on video games, and I love doing challenge runs, and I think you guys are going to enjoy that as well. So hopefully you can get a mix of that kind of content and see what you like most, and you're always welcome to join any kind of content you enjoy. But I have pretty much everything for anybody and everybody, because my channels are very diverse. They cover 3, you know, vastly different types of topics, so I hope you guys enjoy. But anyways, I had a great stream. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream as well. I'll be doing some research. Be sure to stay tuned for Wednesday. We'll begin our Wolong Wizardry Only challenge run. The problem with that challenge run already, that's already going to make it incredibly difficult, is that the very first chapter, like, I don't even believe you have access to wizardry spells yet. So I probably will have to beat it normally and then go back, remove all my weapons, and once I have wizardries and spells equipped, go back and then beat it that way. Because I don't see any way of doing it in the natural progression of the game without somehow hacking it or something. So I have no clue. But anyways, you guys are awesome. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and until next time, it's the Inhuman one signing out.